Hey everyone, welcome back to Rob's Car World. Today's top pick, or should I say fresh catch, is a 1966 Rambler Marlin. Actually, it's a AMC Marlin. In 1965, it was a Rambler, but in 66, it was a AMC. This car is really nice. It's up in Battle Creek, Michigan. He's asking $13,975. Let's go check this car out. I found this car a little while ago on Facebook Marketplace up in Battle Creek, Michigan. It's a nice one. You know, the Marlin was a very misunderstood car, and unfortunately, not a big collector today. It's like the four-seat T-Birds of the 1960s. There's certain collector cars that just haven't had the cadence of becoming more and more collectible as the years go on. And this is one such example. So this car here is being sold for $13,975. And I have to say, when you look at the photos, you couldn't replicate this car's bodywork, sheet metal, glass, bumpers and all that for $13,975. So it looks to be a finished car that you can really enjoy and get your hands around and be very different as well. The story goes back on the AMC Marlin. It started back when George Romney was running. Remember that name? Mitt Romney's dad. When he was running Rambler American, he was focused more on economy type cars. And then when he left, the New Vision now and Dick Teague joined. The New Vision was to try to get a little bit in the sporty end and compete with General Motors and Ford and a bit of Chrysler on the performance side, and the younger group of people as well. But they had to build this car on parts bins, so they had styling. They took the front of a Rambler and they took the back of a styling from Dick Teague, and he designed this beautiful look. And there's no pillar here, which is really nice. So when these windows are open, it's an exciting looking car with the short, stubby little trunk area. Kind of reminds me of a Crossfire a little bit later on. Who knew that would come to be? But overall, the car has a striking appeal from different angles, regardless of where you're looking at. So this angle here is absolutely beautiful. This angle here, it looks a little bit more like an economy car. The back is beautiful, though. Look at that. And you can see this person here that owns this car as a consignment dealer or something. He may be consigning this car for someone. He may own it outright. So there might be some commissions involved in this thing at $13,975. So gives you a little opportunity to negotiate a different price if it's for you. But a good looking car. I love the logo. I think that's awesome. I love the name of the car. The interior of the car looks really nice. It's just a very plain Jane car. There's nothing that special. These cars, you could have had a 327 V8 up to 290 horsepower, I believe, or 270 horsepower with a 4-barrel engine carburetor, and you could get a 4-speed transmission as well. This car doesn't have any of that. This car reminds me more of a base type car with a bench seat in the front, but it has that engine turned dash applique here, that stainless steel look here that became more familiar on the Trans Ams later on, right? That's something. But this car has it here in 1966. Little chrome applications on the brake and the parking brake and all that. All those things were kind of like optional back in those days. But the dash and the seats and everything else looks to be in nice shape. Very plain Janish, type look. The color is like a rose color, very reminiscent of the 1960s colors that were popular back then. It could be considered a pink, depending on which side of the road you drive on. You might like it, you might not like it. It's up to you. I mean, I think it's a color that represents the 1960s very well. Now you can see where the buff books had problems with this car. They didn't know how to position personal luxury back then. That wasn't a large car. Luxury back then was bigger, if not better, right? And the high performance intermediate cars like the GTOs were taking center stage. And, by 1966, the GTOs and the Chevelles of the world and all that, they were really dominating the marketplace. And this car, I can see where the buff books had trouble positioning this car in road tests and things like that, because it was not a high performance car in any regard, but it was a unique design. And I like it a lot, So they used to paint the top black. So if you bought this car, you can bring it to somebody that does some type of wrapping, and they can wrap the back here in black and the roof in black as well. That would give it a different look. So that's possible to do today without going through some paint work. Anyway, a really nice car. The seller appears to have a decent rating on Facebook Marketplace. It's up in Battle Creek, Michigan. Again, these photos are older photos. This car has been sitting on Facebook for 29 weeks. The price is really high in my book. I mean, I think this car is probably worth about $9,000. But I'm sure he's not getting a lot of calls. So if it's something that you like, by all means, take the motivation, go look at the car. I mean, I don't see how you can go wrong with a car that's fully finished. And if it drives as well as it looks, which it may, I think you can find yourself a nice car. But you're going to have to talk the seller down off the cliff here on this one. So, but a really nice one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to Rob's Car World yet, please subscribe. There's a link here for your subscription. Thank you all for the patrons that we have supporting this channel. You know who you are. I appreciate it very much. If you'd like to become a patron, just hit the link here in the description as well. I'll leave the final slide up for you so you can see where the car is located. And if you're so motivated to go look at the car. But it's just basically go to Facebook Marketplace, 1966 Rambler Marlin in Battle Creek, Michigan. And this car should come popping right at you. Thanks very much for joining me today. I'll see you again, once again, real soon. Thanks.